Hello YouTube, welcome back. Having a good time? No? Oh, that's a shame. Well, maybe this will help cheer you up. How's that for an intro? Good? I think it's okay. It's not my best intro, but not my worst intro either. Not my worst intro. Certainly not the worst possible intro. The worst possible intro would probably involve me doing some kind of heinous act, like murdering a child or something. And you know what? Even then people I think would watch some of it. Someone would watch it. They always do. The worst things in the world still get lots and lots of views. Arguably, some of the worst things in the world get more views than anything else, which is disappointing. Very disappointing. So, Fortress, he says, clapping in front of the microphone like a terrible broadcaster, which is what I am. Let's have a little look at how things are ticking along. I don't remember any pressing business at the end of last stream, so I'm thinking I'm free to dive straight in and focus on my military setup, which is a sensible move, I think. A sensible move, he says in his very dark room. I'm going to go over to Dwarf Therapist, take a look at the military screen and sort by squad to see who we've got knocking around the fortress in a military style. We've got 7 people currently. We could fit 3 more in. I don't know if we've actually got anyone worth popping in, but we'll have a look. How about this Zan fella? Is that Zan? Yeah, there you go, Zan. He's a level 3 swords dwarf, so he would benefit from having an adamantine sword, which seems pretty cool. Sure, axes and hammers are both more dwarfy than swords, but looking at the squad, we do have quite a large amount of sword skill knocking around. Then again, we've also got a little bit of hammer skill, and we have some silver, so we could start trying to build some silver hammers. Then again, it's difficult to dupe silver, so maybe we won't be able to increase our amount too easily. We only need 2 hammers. Should be good. So realistically, what we want to do is make 2 hammer uniforms for our military and 2 sword uniforms. Well, we want to apply 2 hammer uniforms and make 2 sword uniforms, and I think one of the sword uniforms is actually going to be our leader uniform, so it's going to be the guy wearing all the artifact armour, which will be nice, won't it? Be very lovely. I think you were going to butcher a few animals so they don't starve. That's a very good point. I should probably do that. I should probably get that out of the way before we come round to unpausing the game. Over to a fortress then. And we press the Z key. Ah, yes, when I turn the big light out, I can't see what keys I'm pressing on my keyboard. There is a downside, although it is tangibly cooler in the room, so maybe I'll leave it off for a little while anyway. So we need to go look at the animal screen, and I think what we'll do is we'll just... Can we sort by anything here? I don't think we can we? Trainer, war training, slaughter, girl, domesticated... What we're going to do is we're going to kill these cows with my B key here. Butcher, 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 pat. There we go. And then, do we kill some bulls? I feel like we want to reduce the population but not totally stem the flow of bulls and calves coming into this world. Well, calves. So we'll leave this bull and maybe another cow, and then after that we're going to just cull all the bulls. Goodbye, boys and girls. My god, there's going to be quite a bit of beef into the system. Quite a bit of beef. And looking at the number of dogs we have, I'm also going to be applying some dog meat too. So we're going to end up with a fairly healthy stock of meat. Maybe we're going to need to make some jerky. Dog jerky. Beef jerky would be nice. Bull calves. Do we want these calves? I mean, we get a lot more leather out of them if we let them grow up. We get a lot more meat out of them if we let them grow up as well. Again, it's more about just getting rid, isn't it? I mean, we're probably going to have to slaughter a shitload of these puppies, regardless of how much Cruella de Vil haute couture we get out of them. You know what? It's Babygeddon. Let's get rid of all these younglings. Babygeddon, do 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 do. Babygeddon, do 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 do. Babygeddon, do 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 do. Kill the babies. That's how it works. Down on the scoundrel's farm. These calves. No wonder we've got no freaking grass. Who will think of the grass? More stray puppy? Sure. Do we want this magpie and lizard to be slaughtered? I feel like we're going to get very little benefit from slaughtering a magpie or a lizard. I mean, the lizard could be huge. So could the magpie, technically, but they're not causing any problems. Bug bats aren't tame, so question mark. What's this? Arrow keys. There's a second menu. Okay. Okay, this is just what level of training and domestication we have. Okay, for different kinds of animals. That's interesting. But I'm not going to look at it. Okay, so the slaughter will begin. We'll be removing all of those younglings from the farm system. It's going to be good. It's going to be nice. That's right, parents in the audience, sing along. Baby side. Don't kill the lizard, says Dave Velociraptor. Well, I haven't. So, although your input in chat actually had no bearing on whether or not it happened, you can rest assured. Rest assured. Rest easy. Rest safe. It's going to be fine. Let's go into our military screen then. He says, squinting at the keyboard in the dark. There we go. And take a look at the bridges of work. Now we've got 7 people. It'll be good to add a couple. So what I'm going to do is have a quick scoochie coochie through the listings on Dwarf Therapist. I'll leave you here. Or shall I? Fuck it. Let's go to Dwarf Therapist together. And I'm going to see who's best. First of all, we'll sort by sword skill, and I see 2 dwarves with a modicum of skill. We've got Zan here and Druid's Mead. Now, Druid's Mead is also our manager, so I feel like putting him in the military is a bit of a mistake. So let's click on Assign to Squad, the Bridges of Work, and Commit. I should probably get out of the military screen while I'm doing this. And then anyone else good with a sword? Nobody. Spear. We've got Kid of Burden, who's not terrible with the spear. Well, they're adequate. It's just a level above terrible. How about Axe Dwarves? It's a very strangely underrepresented skill for dwarves. I always think of dwarves being very hammer and axe oriented, but apparently not. Got a couple of proto-knife users here with a dabbling skill. Why are Buckshot Brigade? It's quite the irony that Buckshot Brigade would be becoming skilled with bladed weapons, considering his actual personality. And Kaneda here also, currently dabbling with knives. Doesn't sound like something that's safe. Might want to have a word with his teacher about that. Lashers, no. Mace Dwarves. We do have a couple of Mace Dwarves, so maybe we'll stick Clay Cree and Zastava, although Zastava appears to have some kind of noble role. Migrants have arrived in the background. Very exciting. He's a militia captain. Not anymore, Zastava. Sorry, you're going into a regular military position as a Mace Dwarf. Although we might forcibly retrain you as a Swords Dwarf. There is a possibility of that, because we're kind of low on silver for blunt weapons. But we'll see how it goes. No Spear Dwarves? I'm going to stick Kid of Burden in, because an adamantine spear is doable, right? Or do spears count as blunt? Oh, don't set nickname, you tit. We've already got a nickname on this one. Assign to Squad, Bridges of Work, and then when we sort by Mace Dwarf, we only need one more. Let's pop Clay Cree into the mix, see how he does. Assign to Squad, Bridges of Work, Commit. Cool, we now should have a full squad available for militarization. Now, we're not under siege, which means we've probably shut the gates just to avoid minor annoyances. So shall we allow the new migrants in? Let me just take a look at what they're like. Sorry, we've gone back from therapist to therapist again. Let's sort by migration wave. Here we go. Have a little look-see at who's new. We'll also read just to make sure we're getting the hottest new data. 51 adults, 25 children, and 0 vulnerable babies. Poor vulnerable babies, who will think of them? What have we got going on here? So, Bombrex, Serral, etc, etc. You've got a peasant, that's nice. They'll be given a proper job eventually. Butcher. What do you do? Blacksmith. Great. He's pretty good at blacksmithing, but I feel like... Oh, they were asking for a metalsmith's guild last time, weren't they? Hello, Virtual Spaceman. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. Things are good. Things are pretty good. Oh, Dave, making some bold claims about psychic powers. Intriguing. Hello, Keek100 again. Is my dwarf alive? I think you did get one, Keek. We'll have a little look and check. Did you call... Was it called Keek? Or did we give you a different name? Did you have a memeier handle? Let's hope not, because there may be no chance of anyone remembering if the dwarf is yours at all. Which would be a bad thing, wouldn't it? Got a bit of a glassmaker coming in. Let's have a look at the military screen. Have we missed out on any hotness here? Oh, the fortress's first axe dwarf. And a powerful hammer dwarf with 13 kills. 10 humans, 3 dogs. He's going to fit in like I was going to say like a house on fire, but no, I don't think he will fit in like a house on fire. That tends to stand out. He does have a recuperation stat of 8 and a toughness of 10. So I'm wondering how he's managed to get all these kills, or perhaps his military history has led to some sort of Agent Orange-esque illnesses that he has to fight for some kind of healthcare for. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that kind of thing. I merely do the uniforms. Keek, I think. I haven't asked for a specific name. Well, let's have a little peek for Keek. Let's have a look. We'll sort by has nickname. Bosch. We'll scroll up to the top on the Labour's screen. Here we go. And there are 52 Fortress Denizens with nicknames. Holy shit. When did we get so many viewers? If we sort them alphabetically, he says, clicking twice and wondering why D comes over the less greater than sign. Sure. Orchimedes, Kira, Arctract. Where's K? Keek, there you are, Keek 100. You are still alive. That's very nice, isn't it? Currently, you are... Come on, Tiltip. Leading an armour smithing demonstration. Oh, very exciting. Very exciting. Mr. Arrow is actually technically just an error from me misinterpreting something in chat, Soda. I believe the naming was initiated by one Akira Kaneda Tetsuo, but because I couldn't be bothered to undo my mistake, I just left it in there. Everyone's happy with Mr. Arrow. Mr. Arrow? Miss Arrow. Sorry, Ms. Arrow. I do apologise. Let's go back over to the game and fling open the gates to allow these migrants in. Why not? Let's get a few extra hands on deck, as it were. Remember, deck with an E, not an I. Keep your hands off that. I mean, what you do in the privacy of your own home is fine. Just don't inform us. Just keep it to yourself. Somebody help me. Undermining myself at every possible opportunity. Right, gates. Where's the flip switch for the gates? Here we go. Surface gate. Add pull now. There we go. Let's get that bad boy open. And then we resume. We go to the top. We'll wait for the migrants to get in. There should be, how many of them? 7, I think. They may have to run a gauntlet of undead on the surface. There's a possibility that they're gonna get killed on the way in, but we'll see. We shall see. 7 of them at the start. Let's keep refreshing Dwarf Therapist in the background. Still 7 of them fully alive. They're fine. The gates are open. That's nice, which means they're now moving across the map steadily towards our entryway. If I keep refreshing, I can see 7 of them still alive. Very good. Refresh again. You see Dwarf Therapist refreshing behind my camera there. Still 7. Good number. Very dwarven number. Very powerful dwarven symbolism. Come on. Come on, you guys. All of you can make it in. Every single one of the 7 can make it in. You are the autumn of the year 322 generation. Come on. Don't go outside. You're going to make it very confusing. I'm not going to know who's a new migrant and who isn't. People, please. Okay, in that case, I only have one option. I have one... Oh, God, I've clicked off the screen. Confusion reigns supreme. Okay. If I go to the military screen, that's not the military screen. That's not the military screen. That isn't the military screen either, for fuck's sake. And then we press A. We can set an alert and bring everybody in. And hopefully that will result in swift ingress for all of our newcomers. Although no guarantees can be given at this time. I do see an undead. What is this bad boy here? Let's have a little peek. That's a wild boar sow skeleton. Ha. Okay. That's not an ideal presence right outside the gate. I feel like we may lose some of our migrants. Once again, I'll just do a quick population check on the new migration wave. Bear with me. There we go. Still 7. Still 7. Population of the fortress still 51,25,0. So we're doing something okay. Something's fine. Something's fine. Okay. Right, stop looking at the wild boar skeleton game and just focus on getting all of our lovely little dwarves indoors. That's what we want. I see activity here. I'm presuming most of these are our new migrants. This sad sack here, being chased by the dwarves, unfortunately, was a fool who ran out of the fortress. Although, who knows? Maybe his running out of the gate has allowed a free opening for our new migrants to make it in, past all of the horrible undead skellywags. We shall see, though. That's 2. We're going to assume they're both migrants. That's good. I'm looking at the fortress population again. Still 51 and 25. Looking good. We've got 3 of our 7 in. Here comes the 4th. Come on, come on. 5. And then someone's underneath the tree there. Number 6. There they go. There's number 6. Oh, actually, no, there's another one under the tree there. That's number 7. Ah, we've been hoodwinked in believing that that wasn't the last dwarf. But it is. It's the final dwarf now. Doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Please don't give me a copyright strike for doing this. Let's hope that Europe don't want to give me any legal trouble. Or my singing wasn't good enough to trigger any kind of automated system. Although sometimes I think my singing is only good enough to trigger automatic nuclear retaliation codes. It's unlikely to get a copyright strike. I am now slightly concerned about the number of undead clustering around up here near what was once a man, was once one of our dwarves. It's going to do a refresh. We have lost the dwarf. I can confirm the population of the fortress is now 50 adults, 25 children, and 0 vulnerable babies, which is a crying shame. Whoever it was who died out there, unfortunately, I didn't take stock and check whose name it was, so I don't know who died. Oh. If I sort by military squad, though, we might see if it was one of the militaries. Was it one of the militaries? One of the soldiers? Nope, all the soldiers are still fine. It was a civilian. Oh, sweet civilian boy. How can you begin to be repaid for your sacrifice? Okay. So, it looks good. I think we can flip the switch to close the gates. None of the undead have made it inside as far as I know, so that's a good sign. Let's go down a few floors. Oh, Christ. Let's pause the game, there we go, and pull that sweet, sweet switch. There we go, there's the surface gate, and pull now. There we go. Back to resume. Let's go and watch the surface, which is... question mark. Holy shit! That was a full screen. That was very accidental. It looks like the undead might actually be getting into the fortress. That is a horse skeleton. I'm fairly certain from the fact that it's walking, it's undead. Maybe not though. Maybe they're just failing to mention the meat around the skeleton. The animating flesh. I doubt it. Your fortress tends to give you fairly clear indicators of undeadness. And this sort of flashing monster... Ah! Okay. One of them made it in, so now we have to wait for it to get down to our cage trap array before we can remove the alert. But that's fine. That seems perfectly reasonable to me. Let's have a little look down here. Excuse me, with the farty pants there. Ralph, hello. I'll meddle with my deck wherever and whenever I want. I'll have you know, sir. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, feel free to fiddle with your deck at any time. That's absolutely fine. Sal's obviously decided that 5 kids are enough for her. Possibly, but you know, you never know. Maybe you're just giving your failure of human anatomy recall. Maybe you're giving your dwarven cervix a rest? Question mark? The birthing canal. Canal? Aqueduct. The birthqueduct. Dwarves, that's how dwarven baby is born. Comes out of birthqueduct. That's how you travel it from body to outside. I'm going a bit mad, sorry. Destroy them, says Dave. It's okay. It's okay. They're going to go over the cage array. Everything will be fine. Watch this. Watch this. If we just sit here looking at the main gateway, everybody's indoors on an alert. We can keep the alert up for a few more minutes while Horsey Skeleton makes its way down here and gets trapped in one of these glorious green contraptions. It's going to be fine. Hello, Clinadev. Welcome back. And Ariane. Very nice. Lovely. Wonderful to have you here. Birthing stream, says Ralph. I'm afraid we've had a number of birthing streams already without really mentioning it. This fortress population is actually fairly indigenous. A lot of them have been born here and a lot of them have sailed forth from Sal's birthqueduct, which is nice. As in a body of water, not a live birth. Oh, a birthing stream. Kind of like a baby river. That makes sense. Let's make a baby river. I think we could do that, actually. We could have some kind of maternity hospital built, but all of the transport system for the babies is just like flumes, water flumes and chutes. Hello, Fuzzy Logic. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I don't know if you have any input on my idea for a new... there we go. There's the dead horse. My idea for a maternity ward, but I feel like it's a good one. Sal's Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's a bit much. I doubt it's going to be a Grand Canyon. Let's say more of a... what's an appropriate size? Something. Oh, what would a baby fit through? Think of it like that. A family-sized coffee tin? No, economy-sized coffee tin. And again, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? It's not the most flowery descriptor you could possibly use. I'll think about it. Although maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's just going to violate terms of service if I spend too long deeply pondering this idea. Let's press M and A and remove the alert and let everybody get back to work. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. My birthqueduct has been like the Panama Canal. Heavens above, very busy. Lots of traffic both ways. Heavens above. Heavens above. Although that doesn't quite work, because for one, if that was to be a powerful metaphor, a very strong analogy, you'd have to have relatively small ships heading one way and then coming back out again without actually reaching the end of the canal, and then lots of small but comparatively large boats coming out the other way. Why am I doing this to myself? What's wrong with me? Then if the kid comes out with undesirable characteristics, pointy ears, that's a good point, easy disposal with the river. That's right, that's very clever. That just sounds like eugenics, but with more baby killing. I mean, there's a lot of is there a lot of baby killing involved in eugenics? I'm not sure. I think eugenics can be practiced at any age, right? Ideally none. Ideally it's left well alone, but I'm pretty sure those enthusiastic in endorsing the practice of eugenics don't tend to really... Eugenics don't really care how old you are. It's more about whether or not they like you as a person and if they feel you fit into the right kind of social groups. Very, very bad. Very bad people. Do not encourage eugenics. Because everybody needed to be told that, obviously, because there are no very powerful object lessons of that in the near history. Let's start thinking about uniforms. That was what I was going to do. Oh, but before we do that, let's take one little look at the adamantine mines and see how they're going. Well, they're not going to evaporate anytime soon, are they? But we may be able to do some channeling in the 3 deep water. Is that going to be possible? Let's have a little experiment and see what happens. I'm going to say DH, and I'm going to do a little channel. Oops, not there. That's not going to work, is it? Arse candles. Okay, change of plan. We're going to do these bits here. So if I channel these at priority, no, not 1, priority 2. There we go. Pop these in here. Diggly wiggly. Actually, I don't need to do them one at a time, do I? I can actually do them... Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Good. We'll get those dug out and then we'll come back later and check out what's what with the channeling under the water. Let's go back up where it's military time, shall we? Let's go have a little look at our uniforms. So the Bridges of Work is now 10 strong. Very good. Very powerful military number. All 10 strong units are the most powerful form of attack and defence. They're great. Apparently Cars, as in the Disney films, encourages it. Specifically Cars 2. I have seen that video, old Jack Saint's thoughts, and it's a powerful argument. Not as powerful as the argument for Sky High encouraging it. It's not... what worries me about a lot of his videos is you don't really have to scratch that far below the surface of just like very common media to find like actually pretty dark ideas being subconsciously expressed. It's very odd. It's very odd. It makes me worry. It makes me worry about people. Disney probably supported it for some people. Well, that's the key to eugenics, isn't it? Because if you just think you should, if it's for everybody, if eugenics is for everybody, then there's a name for it. That's even beyond genocide, isn't it? That would be unicide. Everybody. Everything. Kill everything. That's how it works. That's more of a Korn angle to take. Not the band. The Warhammer lore. Hello Tidy, welcome back, thanks for joining us. For some reason we're talking about very dark subjects again. It's not like that ever happens here. Very strange. The ideas aren't intended whatsoever, and I think it's kind of reaching to like Kitchen Nightmare supports a capitalist dystopia. I don't think it's reaching. I think that's just not the stated intention. It's not what people have thought about, but that is an actual valid interpretation of those things. Canadian Corndog supports unicide. That's right, he said it. He wants to kill small unicorns from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Oh my goodness. How upsetting. How very upsetting. My goodness. If you're for general purpose eugenics, then just randomly, then you're more Westlife or my Uncle Shipman. My goodness. How many serial killers are you related to, Dave? That's insane. That's a large number. Annihilation. Yes. Yes, that would also work. That's another A word that... Did I use an A word before? That was a U word. Unicide definitely begins with a U. Well, I suppose you could spell it with a Y. Anyway, there we go. Let's have a look at these uniforms, shall we? I'm sure somebody in chat's getting very excited right now, champing at the bit, ready to see how uniforms work. Well, what I'm going to do is press N to go to the uniform screen. Very exciting stuff. And on the left here, we've got all the uniforms that we have. The generic ones, leather armour, metal armour, archery armour, and then the three that I've added. Training, adamantine sword, adamantine hammer. Very exciting. We don't really want to use any of this leather armour, metal armour, archer stuff. I mean, I could do the training one. But to be fair, I mean, that's just so that people wear some shit. If they've got adamantine armour, they may as well wear it because it's so lightweight. It's barely worth not wearing, you see what I mean. What I'm going to do is, we've got adamantine sword, we've got adamantine hammer. They're generic outfits for people to wear so they get a weapon. I'm going to make the artifact set now, and I'm going to call this new uniform AA. So proceed to add a uniform, capital N to name the uniform, and then, did I press the right button? I don't think I did. Capital N to name the uniform, there we go. So add that's SWA, no. Add so there we go, adamantine artifact armor. And what we're going to do is we're going to say armor first, and we're going to take breastplates. There we go. We need to be a bit more specific. So can I go down to specific? Shit, no. Adar, there we go. Breastplates. Male shirts, breastplates. Can I go to specifics? Can I get specific here? Okay, don't wear 3 breastplates. That's not going to work. Let's go to Shift M for material. That'll do it. And then we can say adamantine breastplate. But that's not good enough. We need to be able to specify a specific one. Can I not do that unless it's on the person? Can I not just have a uniform? This is disappointing. Maybe we'll have a look at chat and see if anyone said anything. I think idolise is the wrong word. Have frequently crop up in chat. More likely, Dave. More likely. I think his and many others' thoughts on shows like Jeremy Kyle and Benefit Street have drastically changed my views and outlook on how bad Britain is getting in its treatment of the lower classes. You're right. Not sure I like the phrase lower classes, but I know what you mean, and I understand what you intend to say. Like I heard the story of someone going on Jeremy Kyle with the promise of drug rehab, but they went on, got berated and humiliated, only to get 1 week's worth of rehab, which didn't even work. They didn't even check in, just showed her in there and thought, job done, and ran off with the cash. To be fair, that show was just disgusting from the outset. Very not cool. Very not cool. And yeah, I mean, that's the problem, really. And the fact that the show itself is not the most damning thing about it. It's the fact that it went on for so long, completely unchallenged. Completely unchallenged. I definitely think people with less opportunity in life get it in more, get more of it in the neck. But you're right. Things are weird. Things are weird. And you're correct. Things have been trending upwards. 70s, not as good as the 80s, not as good as the 90s, not as good as the noughties, not as good as now. But, you know, well, not in all regards. Most things get better. A lot can change, vacillates. Oh, Canadian corn dog. That is basically the premise of the show, though. That was basically the premise of old Twat Chops, the phone licker's show. Ever remember that? He used to love licking his phone. Very weird. Where were we? Let's have a little look over here. So, schedule, ammunition, supplies, uniforms. Uniforms is fine, but for some reason I don't seem to be able to specify particular types of breastplate. If I could... Oh, could I say what kind of quality level? Can I do that? World is a fuck, says Butternut Squash. I don't know. Sometimes, some parts of it, definitely a fuck. But not all of it. It's like that scene out of Brain Dead where Lionel's mother has eaten his girlfriend's dog, and she says, "Your mother ate my dog!" And he says, "Not all of it." That's how it works. In fact, if someone types !, "Your mother ate my dog" in chat, they'll get that very response. That's exactly right, Dave. It is. They're like an excuse to say, "Oh, it's your fucking fault you're so poor, you disgusting pleb." Which is sad, because, you know, fuck it. We have somehow managed to sidle into the realm of politics again, which is, you know, totally valid subject for discussion, but maybe it's not the perfect subject for this kind of scenario. We are going to get nowhere discussing politics here. You may as well try and learn Dwarf Fortress from watching me play. I mean, you'll get as much out of it. Oh, definitely. Now is the time. I would definitely not want to live any time in the past, other than those times in which I was already alive. I mean, obviously. That would be crazy. But, you know, today is a good day. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah. I'm going to get copyright striked again. Terrible. Politics do spook chats out. They do spook them up. It is fairly gross, Virtual Spaceman. It is. It's very gross in some circumstances. Anyway, enough of this nonsense. Nobody has any ideas about how to specify a specific piece of armour in this uniform, so what I'm going to do is go and let's just check that there's no specific... No, it's just the material. Okay, that's fine. So, next, rather than doing material, we want a helm, gloves, boots, overclothing. You know what? If I can't pick a specific piece of gear, then there's no point making this a uniform, is there? What I should do is just go to the lead guy and give him all the artifact armor. Okay, we're abandoning Adar as an option. We're going into the military screen here. I'm going to the Bridges of Work. We're going to find Bemble Oaken Shifcod? Whatever. We're using our militia commander, and we're going to go directly to him for his equipment. So, E, equipment. Here we go. Now, it says adamantine breastplate. Breastplate, that's fine. I'm going to press enter and remove it. And we're going to say A, specific armor, and then we need to come down here and find our adamantine breastplate. Segmented adamantine breastplate. Which is a problem, because I've just realised it's not going to be called that, is it? It's going to have its artifact name. Oh, apparently not. Apparently not. X-dog leather. Oh, okay. Dog leather armour with X hyphen as a quality level. For some reason I thought we had X-dogs in the fortress, which seemed like a strange thing to have. Dog leather armour, blah blah blah. Steel mail shirt, adamantine breastplate. So where's the segmented? Oh, here we go. It's going to be one of these. Zoloth Cod and Minseb Otanbadod. Oh, we've got 2 sets of artifact armour, haven't we? So presumably both of these are going to be... Right, let's find out what our best artifact breastplate is, shall we? So we go here, blocky adamantine greaves. In fact, let's get those on in first. Storlutanan. That's the one we want on the Bridges of Work, lads. So go to equipment, go to his thing here. Question mark. Greaves. Where's the legs? Shift L, I'm going to guess. Question mark. Specific pants. There we go. So we'll do that. Storlutanan. There we go. He can wear those. Nice. What next? So he's going to want another artifact. So we're going to need to go to the artifact screen, take a little look there. Adamantine Greave, Spore Tree Crown, Adamantine Shield. Should we give him Shaken Spun? Uthmik-Kashesh. Let's give him Uthmik-Kashesh. Why not? So military. There we go. Bemble. Press E. Bemble. We want a shield, which will be Shift S? Question mark? Yes, Shift S. Go for a specific shield, and there it is, Uthmik-Kashesh. Then we need to go back out to our, not military screen, our artifact screen. Oh, excuse me. Uncomfortable. Oh. There's our blocky adamantine greaves, adamantine shield. What's this? Segmented adamantine breastplate. So, Mimenseb Otanabod. Mimseneb. Whatever. It begins with a U. I'm sure we'll find it sooner or later. So that'll be armor. Specific armor. Where is it? Yeti leather dress. There it is. There it is. Mimsnebeb Otanabod. Lovely. Okay. So he now has greaves. He has... oh, we need to take his old greaves away, don't we? We also need to take away his breastplate, which has been done. That's fine. Doesn't have a shield other than his artifact one. That's fine. Question mark. Music. Thank you. Where were we? Let's go back to the game. So, high boots. We don't have artifact high boots. I don't think we have a pair of artifact gauntlets. We have double left gauntlets, perhaps, which is going to be awkward because we're not going to be able to assign those until we have a matching pair. That's fine. Do I have a helm? Let's go back to the artifact list and see if we can find a helm. Greaves, shield, segmented adamantine breastplate, dogbone mace, combat blots, the regular adamantine breastplate. That can go to our next best guy. White sandbag, adamantine pick, adamantine buckler, dog leather turban, adamantine right gauntlet. Do we have a left gauntlet? Adamantine warhammer, perfect red zircon, goat bone disc, obsidian scepter. I think we're long before. Okay, so other than those particular things I've assigned him, we want him to pretty much keep to the same gear. So steel mail shirt, yes. There's his breastplate, adamantine helm. That's his greaves. Gauntlets, high boots, shield, short sword, which we're going to change now to say we want an adamantine short sword. That's fine, isn't it? So we say remove, Shift W for weapon. I see chat moving, but we'll get there. Adamantine short sword. There we go. Bang. So now Bemble Oakshford, whatever his name is, has got a lovely suit of partially artifact adamantine armor. Is everybody pleased with this? Everybody pleased with these things? Let's have a little look. Okay, talking about travelling, talking about, what's his name? Oregon Trail Fortress. fast way, like in object testing arena, if your dwarf is an adventurer, to take control of it. Yeah, I must admit, I'm not fussed about adventure mode. It's never really called to me. I'm much more of a fortress mode guy. Yes, he does have that adamantine shield you made, Druismead. I think because we've got two. We've got a buckler and a shield. Do you know if you made the buckler or the shield? He's got the shield, but there is an adamantine buckler as well. In that case, yes, Druismead, he has got your shield. Still plenty to come. Very true, Sal. So, next we need to look at who's going to get different stuff. So, Akira is currently wearing leather armour for no real reason, which doesn't make much sense, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to go over to Dwarf Therapist. We're going to take a look at our squad, and we're going to see who needs to be given what. Who are our hammer dwarves? Who are our hammer dwarves? These two here, Akira and Arctrecht, both require hammer dwarf uniforms. That's good. So, what I'm going to do is go back over to Dwarf Fortress. And Akira here no longer does that, no longer does that. He now uses, how do I assign a uniform? Capital U. Makes sense. He uses adamantine hammer. Bash. There we go. Oh, fucking hell. I've just undone Bemble's... Oh. Okay. Akira gets adamantine hammer. Who's next? Arctrecht. So Arctrecht, where are you? There you go. You're getting adamantine hammer as well. Lovely. Why was he using adamantine sword? Question mark? Whatever. Adamantine hammer. Let's see who else we've got. So, I'm over in Therapist at the moment, taking a little peek. We haven't really got any axe dwarves in the fortress. Let's see who can wear swords. Bemble, of course, has his own special sword outfit, which we're going to have to redo. Fuck. Zan. Zan. Where are you, Zan? Zan is here. There we go. Zan, you get to use adamantine sword now. There we go. Who else? Next one is Akira. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, he's just better with a hammer. That's fine. Next one is Conan Dude, who is also a sword boy. Okay, Conan Dude. I'm presuming this fella is him. He's already... No, he's got the training uniform. That's fine. So you've got sword, you've got hammer, you've got sword. Defects. What do you use? Defecatius? You use sword. Fair enough. Let's do that then. Adamantine sword. Got to use the correct screen. There we go. Adamantine sword. Zan's already been placed on swords. Kid of Burden. Now you've got hammer currently as your thing. However, let me just check that again. No, that's not really your thing, Kid of Burden. You're more of a spear dwarf. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to put you back on training, Kid of Burden. Going to put you back on the training armour, as one does. There we go, training armour for you. It's going to be fine. Hibernoe, what's your particular useful skill? You're also a hammer dwarf. Also a hammer dwarf. What are we looking at here? Scoundrel, are you using Linux? No, Christ, I'm not. I'm a sad old Windows 10 man. But, you know, if I could be bothered to, I'd use Linux. Or if games were supported by Linux more, or Linux supported games more, I definitely would. In the future, I suspect there'll be a lot more Linux going on, but we'll see. Hello, Plutonium Jesus, welcome back. Looks good, although that guy's now wearing several millions of trade credits worth of equipment. Very true. Very true. Which is fine. Hopefully it will help keep him alive, because we consider his life to be worth millions of trade credits. Overslot says it's incredibly hard to do custom armor for everyone and it's not entirely worth it. This fortress is revolving around getting these guys in very fancy adamantine armor, so it will be worth it. It will be worth it just for the pure RP of it. Adamantine hammers, is that for the memes? No, they're not actually. They're using silver hammers in adamantine armor. It's the adamantine armor, but what they're using as a weapon is the second word. So they're not using adamantine hammers. Definitely not using adamantine hammers. Platinum would be nice if you could get a mood to get one made. Platinum or gold, very good. Very powerful hammer materials. Adamantine hammers for law enforcement dwarves. Yes, we know that. You know I know that, Ocelot. You've been watching for ages. Keek100 likes the adventure mode as it's just fun. I see the interest in it, but for me it's just too complicated to get into, like, from a cold start. You start it up and take a look at it and it's like, so many possible options. Fuck it, I'll just go and play Fortress mode, which is, almost as complicated, but not quite. Silver hammers indeed, Bang Bang, Maxwell, and all that jazz. Yeah, no, it's not for actual adamantine hammers. That would be crazy talk. Anyway, Hybernoe, what was your weapon again? It was a hammer, I think, but we'll just check that. Yep, Hybernoe likes hammers, so he's having adamantine hammer outfit. Clay Cree, what is the weapon for thee? Excuse me. Pardon me. Clay Cree, here he is. His weapon of choice is a mace. Awkward, but doable. Maybe we just give him the sword uniform and force him to learn how to use a sword. He's only a level 2 mace dwarf, so it's not exactly bonkers to give him a sword and hope he'll level up on it. Sorry, Clay Cree, it's sharps for you, not blunts. You're going sword as well. We're going to accommodate the spear thing. That works, but we don't really have the material to start making many blunt things. We're going to have a couple of hammers, and that's about the best we can do. Arctrek, didn't we already sort you out with a hammer? Yeah, Arctrek's a hammer boy. And Kribrucklux, who's this? Who's that? Ah, Krabiukus. We know who that is. That's fine. They are also a mace person. That's awkward. You know what? I'm afraid you're going for a sword now. There we go. You may be good with a mace, but you're going to end up good with a sword in the end. It will be fine, says Scoundrel stretching, because he's getting a horrible pain from his chest. Oh, from hunching over all the time. Such bad fucking posture. It's Banefield Death. I think that's right. It's easier to start immediately getting stuff done in Fortress mode compared to Adventure mode. Yeah, because you start pretty much useless in Adventure mode. Pretty much useless. So now we've got into a position where we've got one guy who's going to have a specialist artifact set of stuff. We need to make... you know what? What I could do with our little sword boy, our little spear boy, is just give him the sword one and then swap his weapon out for a hammer. That makes a lot more fucking sense, doesn't it? Let's do that. Okay, so now we go to the equip screen again. Or we say escape, come out, go back to the military screen, go to the bridges of work, go over here, say equipment. We look at our leader, we don't want an adamantine breastplate, we don't want adamantine greaves, and we don't want any old short sword, but that's fine. So now we add armour, specific armour, and it's, I'll know it when I see it. Where is it? There it is, that's the segmented adamantine armour. Then we want specific leg armour. Specific parts, it's that one, and then we want the shield, which is a specific shield, it's that one, and I think that's everything, right? He's all set. Now, instead of just using any old generic short sword, we're going to say I would like a specific weapon, and we're going to pick that adamantine short sword. Very nice. So, Akira. Adamantine breastplate, fine. All this is absolutely fine. Let's go down to the Warhammer. Let's remove it. Pick a specific Warhammer, and we will pick that silver Warhammer there. Very powerful choice. I like it. Conan Dude. He's a short sword man. I don't think we actually have a set of short swords for everybody. So let's just check how many sword boys we've got. We've got one already bought. That's a hammer that's already got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 short swords to make and 2 more warhammers. That's fine. I can do that. That's fine. Also, how many? We've got 5 suits of full adamantine plate, haven't we? So we need 5 more. Let's make another one. And see how it pans out. Let's go up here to our legendary Smith's Workshop. There we go. Let's just check that's correct. It's correct. Add armor, adamantine. We want a breastplate. We would like greaves. We would like a helm. We would like gauntlets, and we would like high boots. That's good. That's another full set of adamantine armor ready to come off the production line. Eventually what I want to do is start encrusting this shit with gemstones, but we'll wait until we've got a suit for everybody. Get everybody in their civilian outfits, and then we'll start encrusting. It'll be fine. It will be fine. Ocelot just opened his 6th beer. Heavens above, I haven't even had one this evening. Wouldn't mind one, but unfortunately don't have any at the moment, so it's not really an option. Not really an option. Banefield Death says, although you can become a godlike pebble thrower pretty quick in adventure mode using the inbuilt macros, though I think that throwing pebbles during combat has been nerfed sometime recently. Well, I mean, obviously, if we look to myth for our answers, the story of David and Goliath tells us that pebbles can be powerful military technology. Maybe that's an exaggeration, I don't know, but I certainly feel like a well-placed pebble could be quite lethal. Not to people in our sweet adamantine armour, though. They are impregnable. Impregnable? Impenetrable. Because, some of them may well be able to have children. We'll see how it goes. I've got a steak sandwich to eat. Ooh, Sal. Tasty stuff. Very nice. Hello, Righteous. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. I woke up to pee and now I can't go back to sleep, so here I am. I shall attempt to lull you back into a sweet state of somnus. Go to sleep. Close your eyes. You no longer must pee. Your sheets are safe. You won't need to change them unless you had another drink before you went back to bed. There we go. How's that? That make you feel a little bit quieter? A little bit sleepier? Your eyes drooping a bit? Not your eyes, your eyelids. You don't want your eyes to droop. If your eyeballs are drooping, something's going wrong. Talk to your doctor. Skip your doctor, go straight to hospital. If your eyeballs are drooping, that's not good. I find it difficult to pee with a boner. Your life must be torture. It is difficult, isn't it? Definitely difficult to not pee upwards, I find. Don't sit down if you've got a boner and you're trying to pee. That's just going to shoot it between the seat and the toilet. That's no use at all. It'll go all over the back of your trousers, shoes, pants, whatever. Assuming you're wearing them. Who knows? Who knows? At the point you've got a boner, all bets are off. Life finds a way. That's very true. Life finds a way. After 5 to 10 hour runs, you fully remember almost every key. After another 10 games, you'll actually be aware of game economics. If it's your thing, coins are just arrows for bolus adventurers. Maybe later you can actually suck a rock out of blood with just a thirsty vampire, but maybe that's fixed. My goodness. Attacking a rock with a vampire, that's some power plays right there. Vampires are powerful, but rocks are gigantic birds. You've got to get past all those feathers. I feel like any kind of bird is a bad choice for a bitey blood drinker unless you're small enough to get between the feathers, right? Otherwise, you're just going to end up with a mouthful of, feathers. You're just going to end up going... Pah, 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 pah. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just pluck them. Maybe chicken blood's as good as any other blood for a vampire. Why are all these cows and bulls starving? They should be dead. They should be beyond all this desire for food. Let's have a little look. Oh, Turns out our butchers are not exactly working at the fastest rate they could be. Maybe we need to put another butcher's pen in? Should I do that? Should I activate another butcher's pen? Let's have a look down at the food level. What have we got here? We've got the one. He appears to be moving pretty fast. Maybe it's just getting more butchers on the go. Oh, we need to put more food stockpiles down, don't we? I've made these massive areas for food stockpiles, and have I put any effort into actually assigning them as such? Of course not. Why would I do that? Why would I try? There we go. I don't know why I'm leaving them all separate. It just makes it easier to see what's going on than having touching stockpiles. Looks like the idler number has dropped pretty significantly there, so everybody's charging in to move food around. Good signs. Good signs. How's our... Oh, this is all good now. So what we'll do is we'll designate this to be smoothed. Very good. Very nice. There we go. And then once that's done, we'll engrave it. And while we're here, let's assign it as a meeting hall. And make it for our... what was the guild that required it? Can't remember now. Let's have a little look. Not the Natural Dell, the Sepia Fog, the Glove of Defence, or the Sabre of Strife. It's going to be... add a location. Craft or Guild Hall, G... It was a Metalworkers Guild, wasn't it? So, come down here. Metalsmiths Hall? There we go, the Hall of Steel with 24 members. Bash, there we go. The Avalanche of Granite. God, sounds dangerous. Wouldn't want to be trapped underneath that. Very sad days. So, adamantine armour. Let's take a look at the stock levels and see if we now have 6 sets of adamantine armour. That's the dream. That's the hope. That's the desire. That's the wish. That's the will of my... Willie? No, that doesn't work. The will of my Willie is not something people talk about. It looks like they're still making stuff with adamantine, so we'll give it a second to finish. What have we got going on here? Oh, still making gauntlets and high boots. We'll let them finish that and then we'll check our stock numbers. Although just going in now and checking the number of adamantine breastplates we have should deal with that. Presumably that's the... Yep. And then the high boots. Come on. Build me some high boots. Platform shoes. It all comes back to Slade again. Let's have a look at chat here. What have we got here? Do vampires like black pudding? I mean, arguably, potentially. I like black pudding, but I don't know if a vampire... I mean, maybe they need to drink it. Maybe it needs to be a liquid. I mean, I feel like trying to stuff like black pudding up your fangs... For some reason, I assume, I don't know why, and now that I think about it, it feels ridiculous, that when vampires drink blood, they're sucking it through their fangs like a sort of reverse snake venom injection. But of course, it's the reason it's in their mouth is so they can swallow it, isn't it? That's crazy. Why would you... It turns out I'm a bit of a papaga. Rat-consuming vampires, birds are probably a treat, possibly raveling. Possibly. I'll have to see. Dead blood hurts vampires, says Druid's Mead. That's part of the lore for several various vampire methods. Vampire methods? Vampires just suck all the blood from small creatures with just one gulp. Everything I know about vampires pretty much comes from the Vampire the Masquerade tabletop role-playing game from the 90s, which I enjoyed very much. Let's have a look at our stocks again. Check how much adamantine we've got left. 88 wafers. Okay, we're getting close to having not enough adamantine to make any more armour. So let's quickly scroll down and have a look and see how many adamantine armour sets we have. Stocks, press E for the advanced mode, and then we type in adamantine. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 breastplates. Is that including the artifacts? Because if it isn't, then we've got 8, which is nice. Let's do a little bit more careful. Let's check how many helms we've got. That makes sense. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, we've got seven helms. Which means we only need 3 more suits of armour. So perhaps we have enough to make them. It was 88 wafers. Is that enough to make 3 sets of adamantine armour? Now that I think about it, Butternut Squash, the vampires piercing the skin with the fangs and drinking it just makes sense. Just makes sense. But, you know, for some reason I thought they were sucking it through their fangs because I'm an idiot. It's almost like vampire biology isn't the top priority of the fiction. Oh, that rubs me up the wrong way, Ravelin, though. I want them to think the biology out. I want it to be an important factor. I want it to be very good. Vampire the Masquerade is fun. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it back in the day, and I did a lot of the live action stuff in pubs as well, which was even better. Very good fun. Hello, Deberries. My setup looks comfortable, but the problem is, where I've got myself set up is, if I lean backwards, the sound isn't too good, and I can't really read the text on the 4K monitor. But if I lean forward, these muscles here, at just above my gut and below my tits, start to hurt. So I'm in a kind of catch-22 situation. Also, leaning backwards induces a fiercely sweaty back. Fiercely sweaty. So I really can't win. Druidsmead says, the legend of vampirism may come from rich people with iron deficiency in the Middle Ages who treated it by drinking blood as it was a fast way to absorb iron. That does make sense. That does make sense. Although I feel like there's been vampire myths since before the Middle Ages, haven't there? You've got like like in India, they've got like very ancient vampire stories, which aren't, you know, Dracula vampires, but lots of stories about like mythical creatures that drink blood. If I remember rightly. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. There's a new Vampire the Masquerade game coming out and I'm super hyped. I'm hyped too, but not as hyped as I could be because that game has been coming out for years. It used to be owned by the people who run EVE Online. I don't even know if they still own it. Is that who's still publishing it? Because that game has passed hands very many times. And I'm not sure how many people still remember the system. Maybe it will get that boost from being sort of faux nostalgia. People who never actually played it originally but have heard about it will get into it. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be as good as Cyberpunk 2077. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Buttermut Squash says the cartoon Billy and Mandy had a bit where Dracula reveals he scrapes necks, then licks the blood up. The joke being that's how vampire bats do it. Ah, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I am unfamiliar with the cartoon Billy and Mandy, but I think I see the humour. I think I see how that works. I thought the vampire fangs were like hypodermic needles. Ooh. Yeah, snake venom injectors in reverse. That was my idea, but obviously it makes more sense to pierce the vein with the needle. I suppose if you've got the shape of the vampire, of the fang, of the snake injecting fang, that hole, maybe they've got holes at the top too, so you put the fangs in the vein and then the blood shoots up your teeth and then sort of out of holes at the top of the teeth on the back onto the like your palate and then down into your mouth. Maybe that's how it works. That might work. That's crazy. There's only one solution: torso removal. That's probably the best way to defeat a vampire. That makes sense. Sal suspects rabies. Oh, okay. Rabies as a source of the vampire myth. Perhaps. Hello, Claycree. Welcome back. Dark Fortress indeed. Very mysterious. Very dark. Ooh, you can barely see me. My chin just vanishes into my beard. The trailer of the new vampire game looks great. I think I've seen it. Is it the one where he's like jumping around all over the scaffolding outside a building and there's like a Bruja vampire fighting someone? I saw a trailer the other day. I think I even posted it in chat for a Werewolf the Apocalypse game, which blew my mind. I thought that was like gone forever. I didn't realise people were still into it, but I used to love that one even more than I loved Vampire the Masquerade. The whole rage system and the Krynos and what was it? What was the name of the human shape? It was Homid, Glabro, Krynos, Something beginning with H and then lupus. I forget, but you had all these different intermediate werewolf forms. It was great. It was great. Anyway, where were we? Let's get back into the game, shall we? That makes sense, rather than sitting here talking about other stuff. We've got a lot fewer starving cows. That's nice. It seems the butchers have caught up with the famine, which is lovely. Good to hear. H equals Harold. Oh, I see. Harold Boatboy, as he used to be known before he grew up. Someone's cancelling because they need raw adamantine. Let's make another suit of adamantine armour. I think we're getting close. If we've got 7, this will be 8, and then we're only 2 short. So add armour. Make out of adamantine. I want breastplate. I want greaves. I want a helm. I want gauntlets. I want high boots. And that's a full enough set. I should probably also add 2 steel mail shirts to the requirements as well, because I've just realised I didn't make one for the last set. So add armour, steel, mail shirt. There we go, that should do. Well, that should take care of it. Exactly. Harry Boatboy. Murderer in training. That's a very UK-centric joke. I don't know how famous he was outside the UK. In another life, I imagine Harold Shipman became a fan fiction writer. What sort of fan fiction would he be writing, though? Like fan fiction for serial killers? And then Ted Bundy looked deep into the eyes of John Wayne Gacy, and their lips locked. Big kisses. Oh, tongue knots. That's is that how they do it? Is that how they do fan fiction these days? Oh, Clay Cree, you're on an entirely different level from my horrifically smutty, dog shit encrusted mind. My goodness. So much better. So much better. In my childhood, I was a huge fan of vampires, necromancers, etc. I still is. And I used to dream of becoming one, also imagining different types of vampires like crystal fang ones that pierce more efficiency. I never played Bloodline Masquerade because it wasn't very popular in Russia. Russia has its own sort of like role-playing culture, doesn't it? I know that like a lot of different countries, to the Anglosphere, it's very sort of D&D, Call of Cthulhu, all those kind of games. There's like the pantheon of well-known games. But I think all the different countries in which like role-playing games have become popular have their own sort of generic default. Like in Germany, you've got Die Schwarze Auge, which is... They've got computer games based on it. I used to play... the first 2 were fantastic back in the day. And the third one, I don't remember being quite as good, but that's like not totally replacing, but it's like the D&D of Germany. And I can't... There's... hasn't Poland also got its own thing? It's not based on The Witcher. It's... I can't remember what it's called now. Weirdly, I think the most popular RPG in Japan is Call of Cthulhu, although it kind of makes sense when you think about it. When you think about all those tentacly demons, it kind of makes sense. I say demons. Tentacly aliens. Whatever. Fan fiction for serial killers, you'd be surprised. DeBerry's, I wouldn't be surprised. There's very little on the internet that will surprise me. I'm fully... If I went looking for fan fiction for serial killers and didn't find it, I would be surprised. I'm sure it's out there. At least you didn't scorch the earth to get that adamantium. Scorch the earth? Scorch the earth? What's going on here? Why would I scorch the earth for adamantium? Or adamantine? Because adamantium is copyright of the Marvel Corporation, which is owned by Disney, which means you, sir, are going to bring upon me the wrath of the Disney lawyers. Calm your tongue! Calm your tongue, sir. Heavens above. It's not even a copyright, it's a trademark. I think that's an even more dangerous thing to say. No one in chat coming up with the role-playing games of different languages. terrible. Has this come up? Yeah, every time I raid Sal or go into her stream when she's playing Dwarf Fortress, I have to scroll the screen down, so I'm looking at all of her her little buttons and stuff underneath the channel. I can't watch it. Although, I mean, I definitely have a vague impression of the, shall we call them, features of the fortress. Meaningless hand gesture. Don't interpret anything into that. But you know, there's a certain shape to the fortress. Just don't know what I'm doing there. Very weird. Where were we? Oh, Johnny Five's made a masterpiece adamantine helm. Good work, Johnny. Thank you very much. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. She's the ship, you know. Anyway, where were we? Let's get on with this. If that fan fiction is not out there, we will make one. The cleavage. True, it very much has that sort of air about it. Although, depending on how you utilise that cleavage, would probably have a strong effect on whether it's the upper or lower variant thereof. Telia was singing that earlier. Was he now? Heavens above. It's his embark, isn't it? Or her? It's their embark that they came up with. Apparently it's got all sorts of fancy fun stuff in it, but I haven't seen it yet, so I cannot vouch. I cannot vouch. But when this fortress falls, and who knows when that'll be, I'll be straight in there. Like a lightning bolt. A whippet. A grey hound. His embark. There we go. Oh, someone's found a dead calf. That's not reassuring, because surely that should have been taken to the butchery and butchered. This is not ideal. Let's go up to the surface and take a little peeky poo at our animals. There's still far too many of them. The grass is not growing. It's alright though, our butcher will whittle them down. It'll be fine. Everybody relax. Everybody calm down. Everybody just put your willies away. Everything's going to be fine. Still bringing adamantine in on the high boots, then the mail shirts, then once that's done, in fact after this, once they bring the steel in for the mail shirts, I will have a quick look at how much adamantine we've got left. Because this, in theory, is armour set 8, which means we only need 2 more and we've got everything sorted. He does Twitch sings. I was singing earlier. I toyed with the idea of doing Twitch sings, but I don't know. I'm not sure people will enjoy it. I'm not sure it's what people want. We'll have a look. Maybe I'll give it a go. Probably when I'm drunk. Excuse me. Oh, damn it. What is the name of this area betwixt the tits and gut? Because it's giving me right old jip. It's giving me right old jip. I'm just in that wrong position where I'm just leaning forward enough to put stress on it. It's highly uncomfortable. Highly uncomfortable. Maybe I'll turn the camera off in a bit. It's pretty bloody dark. It's barely worth having on, isn't it? So maybe if I turn it off, I'll be able to like sit in a more comfortable position that may be a little bit more, I don't know, unsuitable for the terms of service. We'll see. If I could have one adamantine item IRL, what would it be? Yes, the solar plexus. That's a very good. That is the correct name. Holy shit! I wasn't even expecting there to be one. I was expecting something a little bit more laboured if there was a name, like the gut tit crease or something. What would I have if I could have an IRL adamantine art item? See, my initial... a weapon would be fairly useless to me. I could get in trouble for even owning it. Armour's awkward because I appear to be, since quitting smoking, ballooning. So I wouldn't want to get an adamantine suit that I could no longer get into. Maybe actually like a statue or something. A little statue or I don't know, something that I could put... I don't have a desk. Why would I put anything on my desk? You know what? I've got everything I want. If I got something made of real adamantine, something like worth like ridiculous cash, I'd give it to charity in an auction, I think. So let's go with a suit of plate, because it would be cool to have it for a bit, but it's not really practical to keep. That makes sense. That's my answer. You cannot sway me. What's the red dot, says Dave Velociraptor. This red dot, he says, tapping it, making everybody go, "Moo!" It's the microphone. It's the little LED on the front of the microphone. It's definitely not snipers. Don't worry about that. The sternum, also correct. That's the bone. That's the bone underneath, rather than any of the muscles there. It's the. Oh, I prefer to call it the tit gut plate instead of a sternum. I don't know why I'm so obsessed. Umbrella is a perfect one. An umbrella, an adamantine umbrella. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting idea. But like I say, you know, it's going to be worth so much money, it would be pretty fucking unreasonable to keep it. You know, if it could do good, you know, if I can get some, you know, rich idiot to pay for it, then that money could be, you know, used usefully rather than just being some kind of fucking useless fucking jewellery. Coffee mug, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Also good. Adamantine skin implants. Oh, if I could have my bones laced with adamantine, that might be fun. Sounds a bit dangerous though. Sounds a bit painful. Adamantine is sharp like diamond and much less fragile. A drill would be cool. Oh yes, you could turn it into some kind of powerful drill. Get sent off playing football with shin implants. Probably, if you've got like adamantine razor sharp shin implants, they're probably going to say, "Excuse me, this isn't safe. Would you mind going off the pitch? Thank you very much." Right, where am I? Let's get back into the game, because clearly they finished making all that adamantine now. Why are we suddenly here? Has someone been taken with a mood? Oh, they have. We've got a farmer who's withdrawn from society. Let's go back up to the workshop to see what they pick. Oh, they picked a stonemason's workshop. That's unusual. Okay, interesting. Why did I say stonemason? Surely the word stone is redundant. Do masons use any other materials? I'm not sure. I don't think masons do use any other materials, do they? They're very much focused on the stone working angle. I'm American, so an adamantine gun. Surely you'd want adamantine bullets. They'd be reusable. I mean, sure, you'd have to find them, dig them out of whatever you'd shot them at, but, you know, find the perfectly still intact bullet, put it in a new case. What's it called? Shell? Cartridge? Bosh, there you go. There you go, it'd be good. I mean, the gun... actually, maybe an indestructible gun's also cool. I don't know. I'm not that well versed in the way of guns. Adamantine is also as dense as styrofoam, so any clothing or armour wouldn't be too encumbering. So you could make it to make like water floats. Make boats out of adamantine. The Freemasons, that's true. They make stuff out of political power or something. Imagine how dangerous adamantine string actually is. Ooh, yeah, very dangerous. Cut yourself apart. At what point does something that you put around your neck go from being a garrote to being like a bladed weapon? Because I feel like if you put adamantine around your neck and pulled it tight, it'd just pop off, right? It's so sharp, it'd just be like straight through. Like a knife through butter. Or maybe not. Making an adamantine gun would really depend on how good it deals with pressure. That's true, yes. It's not so much the unsnappable hardness, is it? You could make a super hard gun out of ceramics, but it might shatter. I'm fairly sure you can, like... Is that just a trope from Die Hard 2? But is there such a thing as a ceramic gun anywhere? I'm pretty sure that you can get guns with ceramic parts, but I'm not sure about an entirely ceramic gun. An adamantine genie lamp, so you could wish for more adamantine. Very powerful move. Very powerful move. Hello, Fry Guy, by the way. Thanks for joining us. I missed your name there in chat. Welcome back. That's true, Dave. Sal is painting herself as somewhat the villain. Dangerous umbrella garrote combo. Adamantine aircraft carrier. Very, very valuable. That's an expensive piece of kit. I don't imagine it'd be that much more expensive than a regular aircraft carrier, though. Then again, it probably would be. Agent 47 with an adamantine garrote. Like one of those monomolecular whips from 40k. Do you remember those? That was in that one 40k novel I read. Stonemason as opposed to a regular mason who builds using bricks. Oh, is that what happens? I didn't know that. Ceramic gun was in GTA 5 as well. Interesting. Ah, intriguing. Okay, so no entirely ceramic guns. Although that's not impossible in principle, though, is it? I'm pretty sure if you could find the right ceramic with the correct properties, it's in principle possible. Because a lot of these new metamaterials they're making seem to be quite exciting in terms of their qualities. They also show up on X-rays still. Oh, yeah, I'm not saying like the reason you'd want a ceramic gun is for getting through airport X-rays. Of course, you better find it. It's like dense, solid, those kind of things show up. But they've begun their mysterious construction. How exciting! It's just cool to make things out of exciting materials. I wonder if adamantine would be a conductor. Interesting. Pen that shoots poison darts. Pineapple pen. Sorry, I got lost in a moment. I got deeply intrigued in a meme for some reason. I kind of want a 3D printer to make a Liberator, but unfortunately I don't live in the US and don't want to get arrested. And I thought Canada had fairly open gun. Maybe handguns are illegal, but I thought that Canada had fairly permissive gun laws. You got sensible controls and stuff, but it's not crazy to have a gun. But is that the case for handguns? I suppose. Nighty night boner, sleep tight, sweet dreams. I reckon an adamantine gun would show up on an X-ray or metal detector. I'm fairly sure. Adamantine's a metal, right? That's the canon, isn't it? Oh, right, I didn't know that, Soda. I had no idea. Ceramics can handle high pressure without breaking, but can't hold a lot of energy before cracking compared to metal or plastics. So a ceramic gun would need to have extreme properties compared relative to other ceramics. Oh, that's probably why my toilet bowls keep cracking. Don't wet the bed. That's a good point. Don't wet the bed, Boner. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh, that probably breached terms of service saying that. Actually, is everyone? Fuck it. No, I won't. I'll save that for a rainy day. Let's try and think of something else to say while getting rid of the thing that you shouldn't say out of your mind. Let's look at the stocks for adamantine. That'll surely be worthy. Bars, here we go. Adamantine wafers, 67. So 88, 67, 68, 69, 70. So it takes 21 bars to do a full suit. So we've got at least 3 more suits. I think I might actually be able to make a full suit of plate, as I see it, for all my boys. Adamantine. So helms, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's give it a crack. Another 2 suits of armour. So, add adamantine armour. There we go, adamantine. I want a breastplate. I would like greaves. I would like a helm, gauntlets, and high boots, along with a steel mail shirt. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Burping away there. Let's get another one done. So once we've got this suit and the next suit made. We have a suit of adamantine for every dwarf in our military. Once we've done that, we're looking to making weapons. I need a couple of silver hammers, don't I? And I don't know if I've got enough silver. Let's take a little look at our stocks again. Stocks, bars, silver. 8 silver bars. Is that enough for 2 or 3 hammers? I mean, I could just make steel hammers, couldn't I? That's entirely optional. That's entirely possible. But we'll go for silver hammers first. We'll try 2 silver hammers, see if it's possible. So, add weapons, silver, warhammer, add silver warhammer. Boom. We'll see how that pans out. Let's have a look at chat. I think you're right there, Soda. Like what I would consider easy to get firearms and what you would consider easy to get firearms are very, very different. Like, in order for me to get a gun, I would have to go through a massive series of hurdles, and I would have no practical application for it. Well, I mean, most of the like modern sort of like rules around handguns and stuff, they've come from Scotland, don't they? In the UK, or not from Scotland, but after a particular incident in Scotland, we had pretty much a complete full ban on handguns, which, to be honest, I thought were already banned prior to that. But hey, adamantine boots or shoes might look neat. That's true. Well, if they were badly made, Keek, they would definitely hurt your feet. But if you had them nicely sized and everything, that would be all right. You need 1 silver bar for a hammer. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Airsoft guns more illegal than normal guns. Weird. I've always thought. Now, let's just slightly take this gun talk into a different arena here. Okay, so as I've mentioned before, as a teenager and in most of my 20s, I did quite a lot of live action roleplay. But it was always swords and armour and fantasy stuff. And every time I looked at sensible like rules for firearms in a live action setting, without going to paintball at the time, or like laser tag stuff, it never really made any sense. Like, you can't. It's very difficult to do live action like rules for combat with guns without using some sort of system of that nature, like actual projectiles or laser tag. But I'm wondering, with the technology for laser tag and stuff like getting a lot cheaper, and with airsoft and paintball and stuff like that, I wonder if there's room for a sort of a live system for firearms. I personally would go for the laser tag option, merely because I reckon these days you could have like a lot of multiple target locations. It does all the calculating of hit points for you. You can have something more nuanced than I've been hit, I'm done kind of stuff. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they must do that kind of stuff with airsoft, right? They must. That seems like the obvious use for it, right? Let's have a little look down here. We're not extreme. We're not ridiculously extreme. There's no point in personal ownership of firearms, and the reason we tightened it up is because someone killed 16 children in the school. I mean, true. I mean, personally, that's pretty similar to my opinion. I don't have any use for a firearm, but you know, I might, if I went somewhere where they had them, I might try shooting. But you know, it's not very practical for me to have one. That's the thing, Soda. I feel like when it comes down to did you get hit or not, the airsoft system is a little weak, because the paintball system at least has the paint. It has the evidence of the splat, which kind of enforces some level of honesty. Whereas I feel like the laser tag system has a little bit more enforcement of that. I'm sure you can cover up sensors and shit like that, but it feels... Oh, I know there are shooting clubs I could join. Like, I mean, it's not illegal to own a shotgun in the UK. Farmers can own guns and stuff because you've got to shoot like rabbits and shit. But you know, it's not outside of that. I mean, I don't live on a farm or anywhere near the countryside, so it would be very difficult to use a gun safely outside of a shooting range where I am. True. True. Hello, Robot in Progress. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. I would imagine airsoft is hard. It seems like it would be difficult to enforce any kind of rules for a proper... Because I'm thinking if you had, like... I feel like... because personally I'm more of a Call of Cthulhu end of the spectrum, but for live roleplay, I would like to run a big Call of Cthulhu live roleplay game. That's my dream LARP scenario. But it would be fun to be able to have like the villain with his Luger or whatever's appropriate for the period, you know, do their shooting and be able to have a little bit of pew pew without, you know, people getting fucking like eyes taken out if they're not wearing goggles and stuff, you know, because that's because I feel like you can more subtly integrate the laser tag stuff into costumes and shit without having all the required PPE when you're actually firing a projectile. If anyone's an expert in that kind of thing, I'm interested. Tell me more. It's hard to keep guns, but it's easy enough to go play with them in a controlled environment. That's true. That's very true. That's all paintball means to me. Oh, there's a YouTube video. We'll watch the YouTube video later. Anyway, Mebzuth Omkel the farmer has created Radukaten, a Gabbro hatch cover. She claims it as a family heirloom. Let's take a little look at this Gabbro hatch cover. Let's have a little look. Bitter channeled. It's worth 16,800, considering it's made out of just stone. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's a fairly high value. This is a Gabbro hatch cover. All Crafts dwarf ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with rectangular Gabbro cabochons and square-cut praises, and decorated with marquee-cut green glass gems and bloodthorn. This object menaces with spikes of tin and alder. On the item is an image of dragonfly men in Gabbro. On the item is an image of Guido Esteem Drills, the human, and Spishab Highstills, the human, in Gabbro. Spishab Highstills is striking down Guido Esteem Drills. The artwork relates to the killing of the human sunless slayer Guido Esteem Drills by the human sunless slayer Spishab Highstills in Sparkleshock, in the Steppe of Mouths, in the early summer of 85 during Tugalushqua, the stormy attack. On the item is an image of Om Yearbud, the human, and Mubo Drilldrummed, the light judge of fortifying. The human in order. Mubo Drilldrummed, the light judge of fortifying, is striking down Om Yearbud. The artwork relates to the killing of the human sunless slayer Om Yearbud by the human sunless slayer Mubo Drillsdrummed, the light judge of fortifying, in Sparkleshock in the Steppe of Mouths in the early summer of 85 during Togalrushgur, the stormy attack. On the item is an image of Urist Ringfed, the dwarf in cave spider silk. Very exciting. Very exciting. It's from the Fast Show. You will have seen it before. Okay. I could barely remember the Fast Show. I watched it a bit as a kid, but it was I don't know why I remember like the do I remember the catchphrases? Of course I do. I remember Ted. I remember brilliant. Oh, he dropped the keyboard. No, heavens above. Let's unpause this. Let's stop trying to remember 90s comedy memes and try and get on with a little bit of fortressing. Oh my god, it's 1:15 already. How long have I been going for? An hour and a half? Jesus Christ, where'd that time go? I'm busting for a pee. We'll take a break in a minute. We'll take a little break in a minute. I'll get myself another drink. I'll go to the loo. But not until we've got our final set of adamantine made. Let's have a little peek. Are they still making it? Still making it. Why is this taking so long? I had it paused for ages, didn't I? Somebody went into a mood, and then I had it sitting there paused for ages and ages. Like a papega. 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 Please stop it, scoundrel. You're going to get the lawyers on you. Stop singing. Nearly 2 hours. Nearly. I mean, if you count 34 minutes into an hour as almost an hour, it's true. A lovely steak sandwich. Oh, I'm hungry. I've got a couple of avocados. I might have an avocado, but I'm not sure they're ripe enough yet. They don't feel soft enough. And also, I feel like if I've got an avocado, I've got two actually, I want to keep at least one to have with bacon in a sandwich, because you may love a steak sandwich, but bacon and avocado is a combo made in heaven. It's a beautiful, powerful combination. Oh, obviously if you don't like either of the items, it's not going to work for you, but personally I love them both, and they really tickle my I was about to say gusset, not the right word. Not the right word at all. They really tickle my fancy. I remember when I was working up London long ago, I remember having a bacon and avocado sandwich and like thinking, oh, this is going to be weird, isn't it? And tasting it and going, actually, this is fucking delightful. I'm going to have another one of these. And then I probably had one every day for the next week. It is really nice. It is really nice. Just slice up the avocado into big chunks. Make sure the bacon is crispy. I like a crispy bacon. I'm not a fan of a soft, chewy bacon. Has to crunch at least on the edges, if not across the entire surface of the bacon. Oh, ooh. Robot in Progress says, I recently tried a cheeseburger with peanut butter on. It was pretty good. Feel like an avocado would also have been nice. I feel like an avocado would work well in a burger scenario. I mean, cheeseburger with peanut butter sounds like an extreme experimentation. Now you've said it, I'm intrigued. I'm very curious. But I feel like if you've got like the American style square cheese, the little plastic like flat slices of cheese, I don't know if that'd go too well with peanut butter. But if you've got a good, I don't know, a nice cheddar, a nice thick bit of cheddar, that might work with the cheese, with the peanuts, sorry. There's a name for having food tickle your gusset. Indeed, it's called turtling. I like bacon cooked in the oven. It's superb that way between two sheets of tinfoil. Interesting. For me, the two methods I've tried cooking bacon, of course, frying, just stick it in the pan, let it cook in its own fat, and grilling. And personally, for me, grilling is my preferred method of those I've tried. Although whacking it in the oven between two sheets of foil, what's the mechanism there with the foil? Is that for crisping, or is it something else? My sister's got this big cast iron thing you put on top of the bacon in the pan when frying it to crisp it up. It seems a bit elaborate. Hello, what does it mean? Welcome back to the stream. Thanks for joining us. It's been a while since I watched. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. And no, it's fine. You can have as long an interval as you like between watching sessions. Absolutely fine. No problem at all. Although my minions are now hunting you down in order to strap you into one of those Clockwork Orange chairs and make sure you never stop watching again. You better run. I kid, of course. Robot in Progress says, the vid I was watching that suggested the peanut butter also suggested crispy bacon and a banana compote. I don't know. Banana and bacon sounds like insanity to me. That sounds like somebody who just wants to destroy the world. But I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I tell you what, I've been watching a few things lately. Binging with Babish is one of these channels. Because before, up until recently, never really been much of one to be bothered by food. Anyone who knows me in real life knows that my dietary habits are basically, oh, there's something in front of me, and that'll do. I've never really been particularly fussed about fancy food. But he does a series where he cooks things from TV and films, and I'm just intrigued by it. Just makes me interested. Makes me want to try some of the things. Also, if anyone has, I don't know if all Sainsbury's have the same stock, but if you're in the UK and you've got a Sainsbury's near you, they have this specialty mushroom variety pack, and it's got loads of like little different mushrooms in lion's manes, brackets, all sorts of weird stuff. If you get a bottle of oyster sauce, bit of butter, put the butter in the pan, melt it down, fry the mushrooms in the butter, and then just before you take the oysters, just before you take the mushrooms out of the pan, whack a bit of oyster sauce in, let it cook a little bit longer, and then put it in a bowl. It's great. It's fucking lovely. Well worth a try. So if you're near a Sainsbury's, give it a crack. Tell them I sent you. They'll be confused. They'll have no idea what you're talking about. And if you're insistent enough, they may even kick you out of the store. But we'll see. We shall see. It comes out nice and crispy, but the foil stops it turning to dust. Okay. Okay. Want that crispy bacon, but family don't cook it like that. I've been there. I've been at places where people like the bacon to be... They like the fat on the bacon to still be soft and chewy and... that's not what I want. I want the fat to crack. It's got to shatter under my teeth. Oh, that's bacon, baby. That's bacon. Clinadev says, I'm also a total convert to oven baking bacon. Delicious. Okay, so this is somewhat of a movement. This is a movement. Hold on, folks. Orders have been cancelled. He was kidding. Question mark. Who was kidding? What's going on? Question mark. Crispy bacon? I love that. That binging with Babish channel is very good. DeBerry's agreeing. Also, I have a peanut butter burger before. I left the cheese out completely because I wasn't sure the best choice there, and it was incredible. Peanut butter seems to be a very versatile thing, though. I think people underestimate the number of things that peanut butter will go with, because it can be both savoury and sweet. Depending on the peanut butter you get, you can get very low sugar peanut butters which go very well with the savoury stuff, and you can also get sweet ones that'll go well. So like a peanut butter on an ice cream, oh, that's good. A peanut butter? Some peanut butter. A peanut butter, which technically feels like it means an entire jar. He made a chili dog, says what does it mean, from scratch. Literally everything from scratch. There's another chef named Andy Zhu that made a lava cake from scratch. Is that the chocolate one where you put it in the microwave and when you heat it up and when you cut the top off all the chocolate goes blah, 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 blah. Or is that something else? Clinadev says cook a pound of bacon at a time, stack it up in a bag in the refrigerator, toss some in a pan or microwave as desired, and somehow it's delicious again. Pound of bacon. I'm unfamiliar with pounds and ounces. For some reason, I'm visualising a kilogram of bacon, which feels like a good amount. Although my heart may well stop working if I do that. Our bacon is called Canadian ham by Americans. What the fuck? It's weird. Whenever I've been to France, you can't get hold of bacon for love nor money. I wonder what they call it over there, if they even have it, because it seems like they don't really have bacon. I had a full English breakfast in Belgium once on the day before I went home from a holiday, and boy was that thing horrible. It had curry flavoured sausages, and the egg wasn't cooked properly. It was still like transparent and fluidy on the top. Very poor. Very poor. You take an oven tray, line it with foil, layer the foil with bacon, put foil on top, sit another oven tray on top of that, then stick it in. Oh, I feel like the principle here is very similar to my sister's cast iron device for crisping, putting a bit of weight on top of the bacon to flatten it. Oh, you told us to cunt down? Excuse me, a bit of a mispronunciation there. Hunt down, what does it mean? But then cancelled the order. Yes, of course, cancelled the order, yes. Get him. What do you call real bacon? What is real bacon? Streaky bacon. Oh, I see. So they just get like the cheapo, really fatty stuff and call it bacon. I'm similar, Keek. I think bacon is best treated as a treat. It's something you can't have it too heavily featured in your diet. It's a very salty, powerful meat. It's too much. It's too much. Half a kilo is about a pound. That's actually quite a lot of fucking bacon. A little less than half a pound. By the way, welcome back, Bauxite Beard. Thanks for joining us again. Excuse me. Really thin ham. But do they call Canadian bacon something different in Canada? In Canada? Half a kilo of streaky bacon, crisp and crackling. Oh, God, yeah. Butcher's cuts of meat are different between the UK and the USA. Oh, I had no idea. I suppose, why not? Why not? There's so much other stuff. They still use fucking feet and inches, so why wouldn't the meat cuts be different? Oh no, the donkey's starving. Oh, sorry, am I supposed to give a shit? Let's have a little look and see if all that armour and weaponry's been made. It has. Right, one more check of the stocks to see if we have enough to make our sweet adamantine armour. We now have 46 adamantine wafers. This is looking pretty good. We might even get swords for everybody as well. I'm pretty psyched about this. So we should need only one more set of adamantine armour to have the full 10. Let's put it into action now. Let's start building it. Add armour. Adamantine. We want a breastplate. We want greaves. We want a helm. We want gauntlets. And we want, high boots. And we also want a steel set of mail. Good? Good. Lovely. Lovely stuff. And then after that, we'll start making some shields for everybody, and things should be tickety-boo. Ooh, I was going to make a spear, wasn't I? Let's see how much adamantine we've got left after the armour. Is adamantine an ideal material for a spear? Or should I be looking to the denser materials? Should I be looking to treat it as a hammer or a mace? Feels weird that a spear would be like a blunt weapon, but we'll see. You don't have to eat the whole thing at a time. If you've cooked it all, you have to. I suppose you wouldn't, would you? I suppose it wouldn't make sense to call it Canadian bacon. Butcher's cuts of ham. Oh. What, like a gammon? Like a big lump of gammon? Canadian ham should refer to cannibalism. Oh my goodness. The old long pigs. Canadian long pig. How do dwarves taste? With their tongues, Claycree. Come on. I reckon dwarf meat would probably be pretty unpleasant. Gritty. I imagine it being gritty. Like, you know, little bits of crunchiness in it. I was like actual sliced processed ham. Like sandwich ham. Well, how is that in any way bacon? The thing is, I see, like I've seen in American media, I've definitely seen them eating bacon. Is that not bacon? Like I've seen them eating bacon and eggs, and it looks like bacon and eggs. This is very confusing. How do beard dripped in liquor taste? Interesting. Interesting. I think that's a very dwarfy flavour, right? I think so. They call bacon bacon. What? Very odd. There is a John Candy film called Canadian Bacon, isn't there? If I remember rightly. Because now it's all coming flooding back to me. I remember seeing like sliced ham in that trailer for that movie and going, that's not fucking bacon. But that must have been years ago. That must have been when I was a child. What year did John Candy die? Fucking hell. Did he make it through the 90s? What year was Cool Runnings? That was his last movie, wasn't it? Link to pick. Oh, is that a pic of Canadian bacon? Let's have a little peek at what the Americans call Canadian bacon. Oh, right. So it's thick cut ham. It's not just. It's not like your wafer thin sandwich ham. It's like proper thick cuts. Double cherrywood smoked. No nitrates and nitrites added. Surely that's nitrates or nitrites. Okay. Keep refrigerated below 40 degrees Fahrenheit at all times. Holy shit, if I went out here and it was 40 degrees C. Ugh, too hot. I've only been in that heat once, and that was in Cyprus, and it was absolutely nightmarish. Okay, have they finished building all of our stuff? Nope, still on the greaves. That's fine. That's fine. They'll get those jimmies done. I like the flashing lights on Scound's webcam when they change web pages. Yeah, I mean that's how it works. I mean almost entirely lit by like a rock salt lamp over here, and my Gmail account being open in the background. If I go over here to Reddit to see how many upvotes I've got on my Dwarf Fortress post in r/Dwarf Fortress, I'm almost completely dark. It's one upvote, by the way, which I feel is actually probably not even an upvote because I didn't upvote it. Oh, you automatically apply an upvote to your own posts, don't you? I don't know how Reddit works. I'm no expert. Don't hold me to that. Let's all email Scoundrel so he gets distracted from the thought. I don't think my email account is common knowledge. Although, you know, Please don't. If you know my email address, don't start emailing me. Because like 90% of the time, the only emails I read are the ones Twitch send me after a stream to tell me how many people watched. And sometimes I watch like the wish list notifications from Steam, that kind of stuff. Sometimes pinkbrownblack@gmail.com. Claycree, stop it! Don't dox me, you mad lad, you crazy boy. It's not, but to be honest, send emails to that account and see if you get any responses. No, don't, because we could get in trouble if we start saying that. I mean, feel free to upvote my Reddit post, but to be honest, I'm not sure how much of an effect it will actually have. I think those people who want to watch the stream probably already know about it and are here. Thin sliced pork belly, the better grades are very meaty. This is tolerable bacon. Okay, let's have a look here at what Klinadev describes as tolerable bacon. Oh, yes, that's streaky bacon. That's what I would call streaky bacon. Like very fatty bacon, as I would see it. Whereas it's more like, if I go back to the light so you can see me, like the bacon I would consider like good bacon, prime bacon, is kind of like, this has got that same thin bit at one end, he says, moving his hands into the light, and then it gets sort of bigger with a kind of like a bulging out at one end. Very poor description of bacon. Very poor description of bacon, but someone in chat, one of the other English people in chat, will know what I mean, and I'm sure will post a picture of good old British bacon. Oh dear. I felt I was almost a little bit sick in my mouth when I started saying good old British. That's never usually a good sign when someone starts a phrase with that. Keek. That's you're having what they call the old Tetris dreams about Dwarf Fortress. We discussed this last time. I've literally never had a Dwarf Fortress dream. I had a sexy dream last night. That doesn't normally happen. Most of my dreams involve, for some reason, either hiding from or with the guys from the Red Letter Media YouTube channel at the moment. Very strange. Lots of different places, lots of different scenarios, but like they seem to be a constant. I have been falling asleep watching their videos, so maybe that's it. We'll see. That's right, streaky bacon. It's still bacon though. I mean, it's still bacon. I would say, because is there much of a distinction between smoked and unsmoked bacon over in the States? Is that a big? Anyway. The forgotten beast, Zotir Starik Zotir Astos, has come. A huge crocodile with external ribs. It has thin wings of stretched skin, and it is slavering. Its ivory scales are round and overlapping. Beware its webs. Oh, it's a webby boy. Very exciting indeed. However, also not particularly a worry because it's in Cavern Layer 1/2, and therefore there's no chance of it coming into contact with any of my dwarves, no matter what. Very good. Although I'm noticing that external ribs seems to be a bit of a theme in this fortress. We've had a swallow with external ribs, and we've had a crocodile with external ribs, which is interesting. Interestingly also, a turtle or tortoise's shell is technically its rib cage, so they do have external ribs, so maybe it's like a swallow with a turtle shell. Who knows? Oh, speaking of swallows, we have swallows nesting, I'm pointing, you can't see, on the front of our house, just under the eaves, and we can hear them in our bedroom really loudly, like scratching around when they fly in and out. And the other day, poor old Kel went out and found one of the little wee babies that had come out of the egg had fallen out of the nest and was dead on our driveway, which is a shame, but to be honest, could be worse. They could all have fallen out. I'll be happy when they leave though, because they're constantly chucking bird shit out of the nest onto the top of our wheelie bins, which makes a hell of a mess. A hell of a mess. Running from Harry Plinkett sounds like a really good nightmare. You'd think. I often, now this is probably telling, but I often have sort of dreams/nightmares about meeting people from YouTube and Twitch who I admire, and they're like, "Who's this cock? What are you doing here? Fuck off!" And I'm like, "Oh, Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. But you get used to it after a while, because let's face it, that's probably what would happen anyway. Let's have a little look down here. Chestnut meats, says Salford Sal. Well, it says the link Salford Sal has been putting here. Home dry cured bacon. Surely a cured bacon is a living pig. Oh, goodness me, my jokes are so funny. Excuse me. Gammon and ham are a waste of good pork. Dave, don't tell my girlfriend you don't like gammon. I mean, gammon is a very important part of our Christmas. Boiled bacon, very big, very important. Back loin cut into thin chops and fried. I've had that and never associated it with the word bacon. Oh, of course, that's what I asked Sal. Yeah, that's what I would call good, a nice, good bit of bacon. Oh, big thick lump of fat round the outside. This looks like you've got this out of your fridge, Sal. This is a photo that appears to be like, you know, it's just that worktop surface in the background. It looks like a very impromptu photograph. Although, who knows? Who knows what would come up if I Googled bacon? He Googled bacon. He found food. Don't know why that was a weird little outburst. See, that's why I don't do Twitch sings, because it would be strange. Anyway, where are we? Spider croc. That's right. That's what this little forgotten beast is. It's a spider croc. It's got no wait, not a spider croc. It's a bird croc with wings. Yeah, I don't think we've got any bacon in our fridge at the moment. Sad days. Sad days. Anyway, there's the orders finished, so let's just check our stocks. How many pieces of adamantine do we have left? He says there. 25 adamantine wafers. That's cool. Now we also need to check to see how many... Where's the E key? There we go. How many sets of armour have we got? Excuse me. Adamantine breastplates. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Shit. Okay. How about helms? 5, 10. Greaves. 7, 8, 9. Oh, no, there's the segmented adamantine breastplate. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. So we've got 10 suits. No, wait. 7, 8, 9. 5. No, we're good. We've got 10 suits of adamantine armor. Perfect. So maybe we could knock up a couple more swords, right? If we've got 3 people using hammers, that means we need 7 adamantine swords. We've already got 1, so that leaves 6 adamantine swords. I'll do a run of 3, just to make sure we don't run out of adamantine unexpectedly. Adamantine... You know what? Let's go with the spear. And then we'll do 2 swords. There we go. And we'll see if that ends up with a good selection of stuff made. Be nice. Google bacon. Do you really want 10 to the power of a... No. Very good. It's like Peta bacon or Yatta bacon. Is that higher than Google's? I don't think it is it? I'm not sure. Pork shoulder in the UK is the closest cut of meat to pork butt in the US. Okay. I wouldn't have thought shoulders and butts had much in common, but sure. When I heard pork butt for the first time, I assumed it was loin. Surely you must have thought it was a bum. If I heard pork butt, I'd be like, it's got to be an ass, right? It's got to be the bum cheeks. It's got to be the glutes. Or maybe not. Or maybe someone's like picked a pig up, set fire to its face, sucked the smoke through its bum hole like a cigarette and then stubbed it out, and that's the pork butt. I suppose you could do it the other way around. You could snort it through the pig's nose or mouth. Like a cigarette butt? That was a very bad laboured joke. Plus, it put the image of you of a burning pig's face into your mind, which must have been horrific. I apologise. I like finding the cheapest cut of pork and putting it in the slow cooker. Now, a slow cooker is a very good thing for most meat. I love like a nice joint of beef stuck in the slow cooker. You put your veg at the bottom, you stick your joint of beef on top, and then you leave it for a good few hours cooking. And it falls apart. I have played Liberal Crime Squad, but I haven't played Kobold Quest. Keek. I haven't played Kobold Quest yet. It's a cut that used to be shipped in butts. Interesting. I'm assuming you're not talking about like they do to smuggle cocaine over the border, right? I'm assuming you mean like a water butt, like a large barrel kind of apparatus, rather than someone stuffing like pork into condoms and, you know, either swallowing it or giving it the old foie gras ramming up the old bot. Who knows though? Maybe it is. Maybe that's how it was shipped. Maybe it was transported. I mean, there's that coffee. There's that coffee that comes out of a cat's bum. People drink that. So maybe they'd be all over the pork. Pork butt is the shoulder. Interesting. Okay. I think Liberal Crime Squad is much better with the Terra Vitae mod. I don't think I've seen that. A very large barrel, like a ton, like a ton size or smaller, because a ton is massive. TUM. Have they made those weapons yet? Let's have a little look. We've got very distracted. We haven't done much dwarf fortressing, have we? I feel like I'm letting you all down. I'm not providing you with the dwarf fortress you need. You're all going to waste away. It's not good. Okay, I feel like we've done all the armour and all the weapons. Oh no, hang on. We need another 4 adamantine swords. So let's just check the stocks again. Looking good. I think we can do it. 4 more adamantine swords and we're good. Everyone's got everything they need. Oh, this is pretty sweet. Add weapons and ammunition. Adamantine. Short sword, short sword, short sword, short sword. That should be it, right? And then the military's all kitted out and we just have to hope that they have enough training to actually survive the first fight we send them on, which is not guaranteed. It's saving. What a pain in the poo. A half a ton. Ah, I see. Any big differences in swords/axes/hammers for combat, says Brad _. Well, welcome to the stream. Maybe welcome back, I think. Regardless, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And, I mean, I don't know the details, but materials that you pick are important. So, for your slicing weapons, your swords, your axes, you want something that is very hard and holds an edge. Adamantine, top tier material. Steel, close second. And then sort of like your other materials are all good. With the blunt weapons, it's all about the density of the material. So your silver is the best material you can vanilla make a weapon out of. But if you get a mood and the dwarf goes to the right bin to pick his bars up for his weapon, you could end up with a gold/platinum hammer, which would be very good. Very good indeed. Beautiful. Come on, save. You can do this. We'll get back down the adamantine mines, re-top up our stuff, and then we'll start thinking about maybe knocking out some adamantine shirts, replacing the steel in the uniform with adamantine. Maybe? Question mark? Maybe even making them some adamantine clothes. That would be delightful. Right. So, Shift F2 will take us down to the adamantine mines. Looks quite good. We've got a ghost. Why have we got a ghost fucking around down in the mines? Let me just check in Dwarf Therapist if someone's died. We've lost somebody. We've got 49 adults, 25 children, and 0 vulnerable babies. 0 vulnerable babies. Let me just check to see what our miners are like. Let's go back over to Dwarf Therapist. Mining. Gotta go to main labour screen. Sort by mining. Who's still alive? I'm still alive. Mebseth is still alive. Biscuits is still alive. Other than that, it doesn't look like any of our miners died. So it must have been someone else who popped their clogs. Interesting. Let's go back to Dwarf Fortress, head up to the Crafts Dwarf workshops, and start making some memorials. Add Alt S. There we go. Tidy. Oh no. Tidy died. How did that happen? Alright, let's try again. Thunderous Fart, still alive. Anyone down here not alive? Oh, hello. Someone's not memorialised or entombed. Who's this? Dacost. Okay, you can go in. Anybody else not memorialised or... Whoa, hello. This guy's already a ghost. Oh, hang on a minute. We've actually got slabs already made. We've just got to paste them. Poor old Kakarot. He's been wandering around, haunting us, going, "Could you please place my slab? Ooh." And we've been ignoring him, focusing on stupid, trivial stuff like military security. What a bunch of wankers. Let's put an obsidian memorial down, presumably to him, and then do another slab there. Check to see if we've got any more memorials. Any memorials? Granite slab, microcline slab, schist slabs. Nope, no more memorials. Hopefully that will yield a full exorcism of our fortress. Be good. Be good. Let me just check a Dwarf Therapist again, just to check and see if that's an old dead tidy or a new dead tidy. Because we did have one at the beginning of the stream, I feel confident in saying. Has nickname. There we go. Sort by alphabetical order, down to the T's. Oh dear, it was a new dead tidy. Commiserations, T-Man. Considerations? Commiserations. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll be able to get you an adamantine hammer soon enough. We'll make you our new Justice Boy when we get a chance. It'll be great. Let's have a look here. Spears are nice for reaching in and breaking things inside without leaving too many parts for hauling. Swords and axes slash, hammers crush, spears pierce. Oh, hello. Hammers are nice for squishing things that don't mind being pierced, but the teeth clean up a lot. Oh yeah, you do put a lot of teeth over the map. Slashing is very effective against unarmoured targets. Crushing is good against armoured and undead targets. And piercing is what you want against large monsters. So, the swords, do swords pierce? Can swords pierce? Or are they, is giving my guys lots of swords a little bit shit? Whips do seem to have a lot going for them, but I'm not sure my boys can actually make whips. If we can get more silver, maybe I will bang a few silver whips out and see if we can give them some offhand whippage. That might be good. Might be good. Crushing is also good if you want someone to give in to pain. That's true. That does put people down pretty effectively. Okay. So they've started putting down all of the armour into the workshop. I really feel like I need to get my guys out of their armour so we can start encrusting it with gemstones. So if I go here and then we say give to a workshop. Wait. Let's go to our jeweler's workshop and check that out first. Question mark? What have I? Oh, very confusing. There's our jeweler's workshop. So, if I say add, and then we're going to go to moonstones, are they good? Let's put black zircons. Let's encrust black zircons, and oh, can I even do armour? Can I even encrust armour with jewels? Is this an option? Huh. Whips are not so good against masochists. Well, it depends. I mean, on your perspective. I'm sure the masochists think they are very good. Swords do all three, sometimes mostly slash and pierce. Okay. Tony surely should fix whips. I mean, we've had some pretty surprise combat turn-ups when people ended up to be using silver whips. That was insane. Who was it? Was it you, Claycree? Did you get ripped apart by whips? It was somebody in chat with a pink name text. That much I remember. I like spears and swords, says Clunadev, but practically everyone else in my fort has a pick or an axe. Well, picks are super OP because you can train them with mining. So, I mean, you can get up to level 20 pick combat, like, super fast. I get whipped apart every day, says Claycree. Heavens above. Heavens above, that sounds like a little bit too much information. Now, if somebody could inform me on the mechanisms of incrustation, that would be lovely. It was welcome back, by the way. You named a dwarf after me the last time I was here. Did I? Well, Brad, let's have a quick little look here and see if you're still alive in Dwarf Therapist. I suspect either you're dead or this was a different fortress. No, you're still here. Holy shit. How crude of me to have forgotten you. What a bastard. What a terrible streamer. You should report me. Don't. Please don't. You're still alive. You're still a very lovely little child in this fortress. It says 103 in brackets next to your child status. I'm assuming that's not your age, because this strand extractor here is 34, so that suggests you're significantly older than him. Very strange. Very strange. Don't worry, it's just whipped cream. That's fine. That's fine. As long as you're not being ravaged with actual whips, then that's good. Scourged. Scourged. So what do I... If I say encrust finished goods, G, does that give me any further... No, it doesn't. Cancel that. But nothing special, just whipping some Vampire Child. And why not? Why not? Vampire Child's only going to get better. Tragically, you need to mod to encrust armour. You can stud with metal, though. Interesting. So we could stud it with... I suppose we've got steel in the fortress. But adamantine studded with steel feels a little bit... It feels a little bit brutalist, right? It feels 40k, to be honest. I feel like they're going to start looking a bit like Ultramarines if we're not careful. Can we do... What are the forms of decoration? Is it just studding with metal and encrusting with gems that exist? Or can we do other things? Could we do bone decoration? Now there's an interesting idea. There's an interesting idea. Let's have a little look at the Craftsdwarf workshops and see if we can encrust or decorate with bone. Huh? Oh, sorry, it's the memorial slab. For a second I thought Tidy had come back from the dead. But sadly, 'twas not to be. Decorate with... Don't make bone bolts. Let's add again, decorate with bone, and then we don't really get any further options there. Can you make cod pieces for the dwarves? Intriguing? I don't think so. I think it would probably be included in the greaves. It would be like an element of the armour included in the greaves. Though, I don't want to speak too soon. It may well be that you can make cod pieces, but I have not seen that yet. We don't have cod. No, we don't, Dave. No ocean-going fish available in this fortress at the moment. Then again, I suppose we could trade for it. Can we not do any specific orders through the manager's menu? Have we tried fishing in the lava? I feel like we're going to need some very, very like special line, special hooks, special everything to fish in the lava. And what do you use for bait? What do you use for bait? There's definitely magma crabs. I'm not sure about lava cod though. Lava cod sounds even more dangerous than magma crabs. Scary fish. Scary fish. Anyway, I've been recording for over 2 hours now, and it's nearly 2 AM, so I feel like what I might want to do is take a quick break. Not least because my bladder is currently creaking like an overinflated truck tyre. Clay Creek says, can you make leather thongs? I once played Adventure Mode as a vampire that lived in the sewers and came out at night when everyone was asleep to steal their thongs. I had a pile of them in the sewers. Intriguing. When you say thongs, do you mean it in the British sense of like a small posing pouch type affair, or do you mean in the utterly insane sense of a pair of flip-flops that some countries use the words, which is madness? Apparently I've earned a break, says Dave. Oh, thank you very much. Very nice. Magma crabs is just an awful STD. Lava cod is a delicious pre-cooked meal. We've discussed magma crabs before. It'd be like having, as I said, a fistful of red-hot marbles dropped into your underpants. I decided to spend a night writing bio for my gladiator and ended up watching your stream. Well, Keek, that's lovely. That's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, I'm assuming not a real gladiator, or indeed from the TV show Gladiators, where they fought with those giant cotton buds that they called pugil sticks. I'm presuming it's some kind of RPG gladiator. Lava cod and magma crab sounds like a warming meal. Very warming. I bet it's probably, if you saw it on the menu, you'd be like, this is going to be spicy. This is going to have like fucking Carolina Reapers in it or something. Oh, Ravelin. Yes, I will run ads when I take the break. That's it. Thongs as in underwear. Yes, the correct name. I think thongs as sandals are an Australian thing. Yes, I definitely heard them describe that, but I've heard it's not just Australians, I think. I'm sure I've heard the r/Dwarf Fortress Gladiator contest. How have I missed this? Oh, is it something that didn't have a picture attached? Because that might explain why I've missed it, because I'm a bit of a pepeg. Let me have a quick look at the Dwarf Fortress subreddit in the break, and I'll get myself up to date. Unless, of course, you can give me a potted explanation in chat, in which case that might be easier. Anyway, yes, those of you watching on YouTube, thank you very much. I will, the camera's there. I will stop recording now, and you'll get more in a bit. All right? Yeah? Bye.